Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Mhm.
Today we're going to be looking at something that I think is really relevant to, well, anybody who writes, anybody who researches, or really anybody who just wants to kind of keep their finger on the pulse of digital content creation.
Hmm.
We're talking about plagiarism
Yes.
and the tools that are being designed to reduce it.
Right.
And the source that we're looking at today is a video that showcases and explains some plagiarism-reducing software. And to give it that extra bit of authority, the video features a professor named Dr. Kamal Al-Nakni.
Oh, wow.
So right off the bat, the video dives right into the problem.
Yeah.
It highlights the issue of plagiarism, and it does this by actually showcasing a research paper that has a 250% plagiarism score.
Oh, wow.
Now, have you ever wondered how plagiarism is even calculated?
Yeah, actually I have.
Yeah.
That's always kind of confused me.
It is kind of a weird concept, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can you have more than 100% of something? So this video is going to kind of dig into that, and it's going to dig into the tools that are available to help reduce plagiarism.
Right.
So the first piece of software that they showcase is called Ghostwriter,
Ghostwriter.
which I think is a kind of a ominous sounding title.
Yeah, it does kind of make you think that somebody else is doing the writing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, right?
Right.
It sounds like somebody's ghostwriting your work.
Exactly.
So the video explains that Ghostwriter focuses on rephrasing text in order to make it less likely to be flagged as plagiarized.
Okay.
However, the free trial version of this software limits you to rephrasing only 13 words at a time.
13 words.
Yeah, just 13.
Wow.
So can you imagine trying to rephrase an entire research paper 13 words at a time?
I mean, that just seems so incredibly limiting.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny taste,
Right.
but not really enough to get anything done.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a way to just show you what it can do.
Yeah.
And then if you want more, you got to pay.
Yeah. It's like the appetizer.
Right. But then they bring out the main course.
Okay.
The main course in this case is called AI to Human Text Converter.
Oh, interesting.
And this one is particularly interesting because it even offers two distinct options.
Okay.
It offers The Irishman
The Irishman?
and
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Now, what do you think those options entail?
I have no idea, but those are two very different people.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to know what the difference between those two options would be.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to make of that. But it definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah,
And I'm sure it'll pique our listeners' interest as well.
for sure.
The video also goes on to mention a range of other international programs,
Okay.
really highlighting the fact that this is a global phenomenon.
Yeah, it really does make you realize that this is not just a problem in one country or in one language.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, plagiarism is everywhere.
Right.
And so are these tools.
Uh-huh.
Now, the question is, how effective are they?
Well, the video takes a before and after approach.
Okay.
And so they showcase a text that initially has a 52% plagiarism score.
52%.
After running it through one of the programs, though, the score drops to a mere 7%.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That means 93% of the content is now considered unique.
So that does sound pretty effective, but I'm really curious to know how it achieves that.
Yeah, like, is it actually helping writers understand how to avoid plagiarism, or is it just kind of manipulating the text
Right.
to get around the system?
Yeah.
So the video gives us a specific example.
Okay.
They show how the word probiotic
Probiotic.
is replaced with
Okay.
probiotic JAMA
Probiotic JAMA.
and also zakla.
What zakla?
Okay, I don't even know what those words mean.
Me neither. I've never heard those words before in my life.
I mean, probiotic, I know, but
Yeah, probiotic makes sense.
probiotic JAMA and zakla?
Zakla. I don't know.
So it seems like the software might be playing some tricks.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more focused on manipulating the language
Yeah.
to get around the plagiarism detection.
Yeah.
Rather than actually promoting originality,
Right.
which I think is a really important distinction.
It is, and it's something that we're going to unpack further when we come back.
Definitely.
So stay tuned. All right, so we're back, and we've seen how these programs can really, drastically alter a text's similarity score.
Yeah.
But what does that even mean? Like, what are the implications of that for writers who are actually,
Right.
trying to produce original content?
That's where things get really interesting because these tools, they're almost like a double-edged sword.
Okay.
So on one hand, they can be really valuable for helping writers understand how plagiarism detection works
Okay.
and become more aware of unintentional plagiarism.
Okay, so sometimes you might not even realize
Right.
that you're plagiarizing.
Exactly. Like maybe you read something
Yeah.
and then you paraphrase it, but you don't quite paraphrase it enough.
Right.
And then, you get dinged for it.
Yeah.
So these tools, they can act as like a real-time feedback mechanism,
Okay.
alerting you to any sections that might be too closely aligned with existing sources.
So it's kind of like having like a specialized editor
Right.
constantly looking over your shoulder
Exactly.
for plagiarism.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just highlighting word-for-word matches.
Okay.
It can actually encourage writers to think more critically about their sources
Okay.
and, learn to paraphrase effectively and cite their references properly.
Well, all right.
So in that sense, these tools can actually be really valuable learning aids.
Yeah, like if used correctly,
Exactly.
they can help you become a better writer.
Right.
But then there's that other side of the coin.
Yeah, the flip side.
The flip side, right? Like the probiotic JAMA example.
Okay, yeah.
What if these tools are actually being used to intentionally obfuscate plagiarism?
Right. Like instead of promoting genuine understanding and original thought,
Right.
it's just a way to kind of trick the system.
Yeah, like get a good score without actually
Right.
doing the work.
Exactly. And that raises a really important ethical question.
Yeah.
Are we encouraging critical engagement with sources?
Right.
Or are we just teaching people how to game the system?
Yeah, and it seems like it's a very slippery slope.
It is.
Right? Because if you're not careful,
Yeah.
you could end up with like a whole generation of writers who are more focused on manipulating algorithms than actually developing their own ideas and their own voice.
And that's a real concern because if we rely too heavily on these tools without fostering that deeper understanding of plagiarism and the value of original thought,
Right.
we risk really undermining the very foundation of academic and creative integrity.
Now, in the video, they do say that these tools are aids.
Yeah.
Right? They're not replacements for genuine effort
Right.
and original thought. But do you think that message is actually getting through?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a message that needs to be constantly reinforced.
Yeah.
Think about all the writing tools that we have available to us now. We have grammar checkers and style checkers, citation management software, even AI-powered writing assistants.
Right.
All of these tools can be really helpful in enhancing the writing process.
Yeah.
But none of them can replace the human element.
Right.
The critical thinking, the creative spark,
Right.
the unique perspective that each writer brings to their work.
It's like using a navigation app.
Yeah.
Right? It can get you to your destination, but it's not going to decide where you want to go.
Exactly.
Or how you experience the journey.
Yeah, it's just a tool.
Right.
The responsibility ultimately lies with us,
With the
the
right
writers, to use these tools ethically
Yeah.
and make sure that our work reflects genuine effort and originality.
Now, this brings up kind of a question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
As these AI-powered writing tools become even more sophisticated, even more accessible, how do you think they're going to impact your own work? Yeah.
Are they going to help you become a more conscientious writer,
Right.
a more skillful writer, or do you see potential pitfalls
Yeah.
that we need to be wary of?
That's something to really think about as we're navigating this evolving landscape of content creation.
It is, and it's something that's constantly on our minds.
Yeah.
So the video also goes on to talk about the process of actually using these tools. And it's not just as simple as clicking a button and poof, the plagiarism disappears.
Right.
It actually requires a level of engagement and decision-making on the part of the writer.
Yeah, it emphasizes the need for patience
Okay.
and careful consideration when using these programs.
So you can't just blindly accept the software's suggestions.
Right. You have to actually understand the rationale behind them
Yeah.
and make informed decisions about how to revise your work.
So it's not a quick fix.
No, it's a process
It's a process.
of iterative refinement
Okay.
guided by the software's analysis
All right, so they give an example.
of how this process kind of unfolds. So let's say a writer starts with a paragraph that's flagged for potential plagiarism.
Okay.
The software might suggest a few different alternative phrases
Right.
or sentence structures,
Okay.
and then the writer has to choose the option
Right.
that best fits their meaning and their style.
Yeah, and that's actually a really valuable part of the process
Okay.
because it forces the writer to engage with the software's suggestions and to really understand the nuances of plagiarism
Okay.
and how to paraphrase effectively.
So it's almost like having a built-in writing tutor.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
It's about moving beyond just avoiding plagiarism
Okay.
and toward actually developing a more nuanced understanding of how to craft original
Okay.
and compelling work.
So it's not just about the score.
Right.
It's about becoming a better writer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about the process.
The process.
And the growth that comes from it.
Right. And that growth comes from the writer
Yes.
taking ownership of their own work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And being an active participant in that revision process.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about being passive
Right.
and just letting the software do everything for you.
Yeah.
It's about taking control and using those suggestions
Right.
to actually improve your writing.
And that's an important distinction.
It is.
It's about empowering writers, not replacing them.
Exactly. And that empowerment
Yeah.
comes from understanding the tools, understanding the process, and ultimately understanding the value of original thought.
I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've talked about the technical capabilities. We've talked about the potential benefits and pitfalls.
Right.
And we've even kind of witnessed the process of using these tools to revise the text. But we're not done yet.
No.
When we come back, we're going to tackle the broader implications of these tools and what they mean for the future of writing and originality. Welcome back to the show. So we've really dug deep into the technical stuff and the process of using these tools. But I think it's time to kind of
To zoom out.
Yeah, zoom out a little bit and think about,
The bigger picture.
Yeah, the bigger implications.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important things to remember is that these tools are emerging within a rapidly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
You know, AI is already influencing so many different aspects of our lives.
Right.
And its impact on writing, I think, is really only just beginning to unfold.
And we've talked about how these tools, they have the potential for both good and bad. But when you think about the long-term impact of AI on originality.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a definitive answer yet.
Right.
But I think it's important to acknowledge the potential for disruption.
Okay.
As AI gets even more sophisticated, it's going to become increasingly difficult to distinguish between human-generated and machine-generated content.
So it's like those lines are just going to...
Blur.
Yeah, they're just going to keep getting blurrier and blurrier.
Exactly. And that raises so many questions about, authorship, intellectual property.
Yeah.
Even the very definition of what originality means.
Yeah. And it makes me think about, the role of education.
Right.
In all of this, how do we prepare students for a world where AI is so intertwined with writing?
Education is going to play a huge role in shaping how we adapt to this new landscape.
Yeah.
We need to equip students not only with the technical skills to use these tools effectively, but also with the critical thinking skills to evaluate the output and to understand the ethical implications of their use.
So it's not just teaching them how to use the software.
Right.
It's also about fostering a deeper understanding of the principles.
Yes.
Of plagiarism, originality, responsible content creation.
Exactly.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's about cultivating a generation of writers who are both technically savvy and ethically aware.
Yeah.
Who understand that AI can be this powerful tool, but it's the human element.
Yeah.
The ideas, the insights, the unique perspectives.
Right.
That really matters.
So I guess to kind of wrap up.
Yeah.
What are some of the key takeaways, that we can apply to our own work,
right?
Our own understanding of this whole evolving landscape?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we need to approach these tools with both curiosity and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
We should be eager to explore the possibilities that they offer, but also mindful of their limitations and potential pitfalls.
It's about finding that balance, between embracing innovation and upholding the values of originality and intellectual honesty.
Absolutely. And that balance is going to require ongoing dialogue, critical thinking, and a willingness to adapt as technology continues to evolve.
And I think most importantly, it requires us to remember that technology is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly.
It's up to us, the users, to determine how we wield these powerful new instruments and to really shape the future of writing in a way that honors both human creativity and technological innovation.
Well said.
So there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
We've explored the world of plagiarism-reducing software from its technical functionalities to its ethical implications. And, this is a topic that I think is going to continue to spark debate and raise really important questions as AI just becomes more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has.
And as AI continues to evolve, I think it's crucial to stay informed, to engage in critical discussion, and to consider the broader implications of these technologies on the future of writing and original thought.
Definitely.
So we hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights, sparked your own curiosity about this rapidly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
And as always, thanks for joining us.